Hello, welcome back to the Grid Center. I'm your host Shane Falco, along with my long departed, finally back co-host, no longer the evil one, just Little D.
Wow. Back to Big D, alright.
Back to Little D, because now you're back to missing the playoffs. Been a while, sir.
Yes, it has.
Been a long time. Back to try and give, hopefully, the fans what they want to hear and see. We're going to bring you, in this edition, the Big Ten Conference Playoff Preview, just for the first rounds of games coming up this Sunday. And got some good matchups, and some good potential second-round matchups. And although many think that it might be a foregone conclusion who's going to win this conference, at least I know from the many people on the forum who think's going to win.
Well, there's no such thing as foregone.
There's no such thing. That's absolutely right. Unless the Weekend Warriors are playing in the Pac-12, then it's a lock.
Wow.
But the start with the. I mean, it's first of all, it's been a great season in the Big Ten. A lot of good games, a lot of good teams out there, a lot of good players playing.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy didn't make the playoffs this season.
Who's that? John Legend.
John Legend, Obama.
Okay. Yeah.
Wheat bread.
Wheat bread. He had a rough season.
He did.
It was full of predictions. He said he was going to do a lot of stuff, and actually had a good team in the beginning.
They had a very good roster. A lot of talent on that team.
When you lose and don't produce,
yeah,
players trickle off, and then
it tends to happen. A lot of people were saying that they should have changed their name to the Givers instead of the Takers.
The Givers, yeah.
But
shout out to that dude. I haven't seen him on Facebook or anything. Is he okay?
I don't know. I don't know.
He probably went back to Florida for the football camp.
Could have, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
We'll see. Anyway, well, let's start talking about the games coming up. First of all,
right.
I think a matchup I know you want to get into just for some other reasons.
Lockdown. Yeah, Lockdown Nellis.
The Lockdown Nellis matchup.
Yeah.
Lockdown had a adjustment season moving up from after winning the last season's Big Ten, although it's now what's now the Mountain West Conference, moving up to the Big Ten Conference, which was the Big 12 last season. So they moved up and started out a little rough. But MVP candidate Brad kept him going. I mean, you take him off that team, and they're obviously nowhere near the same team. And
I would agree.
But they fought through and won some good tough games. And so here they are playing Nellis, who snuck in at the 6th seed, and actually could have been a little higher, but in Week 10, I'll let you get into that.
Not taking anything away from Nellis. I mean, they made the playoffs.
They did. They always seem to find a way to do.
They did. It was just a play call that pretty much affected not themselves but the league. And hats off for them making the playoffs. But I mean, that was got to be one of the fucking dumbest plays I've seen in flag football history. They actually dethroned the Hokies.
I was just gonna say the Hokies off the hook now.
They are off the hook. They dethroned the Hokies. They had to win, and all they had
to
was.
In fairness, though, when the Hokies did it, it cost them a championship. Correct?
Yeah, it did. It did. But
it's not in the magnitude of things. In the grand scheme, it's not as big, but still.
Well, think about it. I mean, Nellis is a Big Ten team playing a SEC team.
Right. The Rebel alumni we're talking about.
Yeah, Rebel alumni, and they could have made a statement. That win could have carried them to the playoffs. Now I don't know what the fuck's going to happen to Nellis.
Right.
All I know is if Blade was here, he wouldn't have made that play.
He would have never let that happen.
He would have never let that shit happen.
No.
Take a knee.
Blade's out in North Carolina, so
doing his thing. Take a knee.
Right. I don't know what else we can say about that.
I don't know what to say either.
But yeah. So with 41 seconds left, and with the Rebel alumni only having one timeout, Nellis elects to put the ball in the air.
The first play.
First play, instead of just taking a knee and running the clock out.
Yeah.
With the lead.
And threw it to
Rebel alumni.
Yeah.
To a wide open safety.
I was like, is this a quick punt? I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And just threw it out there, and
Well, he was wide open.
Yeah, the defender was wide open.
He was wide open, so.
He was wide open.
Anyway, that puts them at the 6th seed now. So into the game. Actually, this is interesting because Lockdown versus Nellis was the last season in the conference, the Big Ten Conference, which again was the Mountain West Conference last season. This was the championship game.
Yeah.
So these two teams faced in the championship, and now they play each other here in the first round.
Yeah.
And the winner gets a shot at the Mad Dogs. Now, back in the regular season, Nellis took one on the chin from the Mad Dogs.
Yeah, they did.
Some, opinions vary as far as what kind of game it would be. Nellis came out good enough, strong in the first half. Mad Dogs took it to him in the second half. Lockdown, on the other hand, just beat Mad Dogs in week 10, very close game, to kind of finish off the end of the season slide that Mad Dogs have been in ever since that 5-0 start. They've been on the second half has been a real downswing, so we'll see if they can turn that around. But
we'll see what happens. Like I'm really predicting Lockdown and Mad Dogs in the next round, only because Nellis is a good team. I just don't see them getting out the first round.
Right.
I mean, I think in order for them to win, Brad's not going to have to be there.
Well, and it's going to depend on if Nellis can control the line of scrimmage. I mean, with their size, they should be able to push around Lockdown's D-line.
But
so
it's the quarterback, and the quarterback has to make good decisions.
And if they stick with the option, then they should be able to control the clock and limit Brad.
They should be.
Because, Brad likes to limit the clock himself, so...
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. They're going to have to control the clock, though.
I don't even see this game being close, to tell you the truth. I don't.
And based on the way the season ended, it's very possible that they come out just flat. Guys just don't care, don't want to show up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who knows? It's playoff times. Crazy things happen.
No, not in this game.
Not in this game. All right. Well, the other matchup is going to be Mana versus Scrappy Talent. Scrappy Talent's been a very Jekyll and Hyde team this season. Started out looking like the cream of the conference and really kind of fell to the wayside.
Yeah.
Had a poor attendance at a lot of games, so they were a makeshift team for most of the season. But there's definitely talent there. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got one of the best all-around players in the league with Soglo out there doing his thing. Mm-hmm. So he can always impact the game. Mana, very physical. The Hawaiians, little physical play. They play smart. I mean, they're not overwhelming athletically, but they just play within themselves and do what they do. So, interesting matchup here. I mean, they played in the regular season, and it was a 6-0 game. Mana's quarterback wasn't there, so I don't know what to make of this matchup.
I don't know what to make of it either, because, like I said, it's playoff times. Guys who haven't showed up during the regular season will probably show up now, which could kill a team because of the fact that they've been used to playing with 9 or 10 people, and then when you get 18 or 19 people, then you got to fit people in. So I don't know. Man always plays short.
They do.
They always play short, but I mean, these guys have been playing together for years.
They beat Nellis with 7 guys. I'm just saying.
I know. Yeah, but I think Man is going to pull this out, which would make them in the dynasty game very interesting.
It would.
Because Mana actually had these guys beat, and it was a last-second play. Who went to, I think Randall took it to the house like 60, 65 yards.
I remember that. Randall did have the winning score in that game.
And that was a close game as well, so that's what I'm probably going to be looking for as far as the finals. Might have locked down the dynasty.
Very well could.
Yeah.
Very well could. I mean, the second round games have a lot of interesting matchups. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, if Mana and Dynasty play, I mean, there's going to be a lot of physical play in there.
Yeah. And
both teams like to jaw it up. Mm-hmm. We know Dynasty is no stranger to being talkative. So
yeah, but they're not physical. They're a speed team. I mean, that's a track team right there. I mean, when you say physical play, you might have some defensive linemen, like the fat, light-skinned, hairy dude, and what's the other dude name that plays with you guys on
Little Worm?
Little Worm, yeah.
Little Worm.
I think that's pretty much as physical as it gets.
Little Worm's dirty, though. It's a little dirty.
No, man, I don't see it a little dirty. It's just, you gotta do what you
No,
gotta
it's not
do.
like Ndamukong Suh dirty.
Oh, okay.
He's just like,
He
like,
stinks.
like Little D dirty.
Little D?
Like you.
I'm not dirty.
You're a little dirty. Little dirty. You're crafty dirty.
That's a good nickname, though. Little dirty, okay. Big dirty. But nevertheless, they're not really a physical team. No. Now, they're going to spread you out, and they got receivers that get down the field. They got receivers get down the field real fast.
They have the best collection of skilled players in the conference, by far.
But when Manna played them, they moved them around, they bossed them around a little bit, and they create havoc in their secondaries, because once you got their linemen getting downfield in the second level, then it became a problem. Yeah. So
Manna tends to make them kind of play their game a little bit.
Yeah. So
they'll
draw you in.
They can do that.
Yeah.
If you don't get on them early, they can tend to make you play their game a little bit. There's a lot to say here. Dynasty, they got all kinds of candidates.
Mm-hmm.
You got Rocket, a potential MVP. Mm-hmm. Randall, a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, as he usually is in his conference. He's probably even got some potential for Offensive Player of the Year. Mm-hmm. So does Jimmy from Dynasty. The Mad Dogs have their own candidates as well. The usual, both sides of the ball for Sean. Mm-hmm. So it's...
See, with Mad Dogs, though, your boy Mark is on it. He's like, he started off, and he peaked, and then all of a sudden he just dropped. And I think he lost how many games in a row?
I don't know how many in a row specifically. I know they went 1-4 down the stretch.
1-4.
Yeah.
And that's not a good look. That's not how you want to come into the playoffs. Now, don't get me wrong. Mark is going to game plan because that's what he does.
Right.
He's going to...
We might see the return of option right.
Well, he's got the linemen to do it.
Yeah, you got slow ass Diesel.
Yeah.
And
he's got the
Leon.
He's got the linemen to do it. But is his head going to be in the game? It's going to be a big game regardless. Whether not too much in Ellis, like I said, a big game against Brad. He would want to beat Brad simply because nobody's really talking about Mark and MVP or Offensive Player of the Year candidate.
Yeah, he hasn't really been getting a lot of publicity for that.
No.
He put up some really good numbers this season.
Well, like in the beginning,
right,
when he was playing like...
And they've tapered off, too.
Yeah, kind of. So, nobody's really talking about it. So maybe this is a chance for him to get on his own stage and then to be the quarterback that everybody else is talking about.
Right.
So, maybe.
Well, so we're going to go with the Final Four, the GRIDCENTER Final Four of Lockdown, Mad Dogs, Manna Dynasty. That sound about right?
That sounds
right. All right. I'm gonna go even further. I'm gonna say we're gonna have a Dynasty Lockdown final.
Nah, I'm not touching that one, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
That's where I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I'm gonna go with that. So
it's definitely a possibility.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Dynasty's the kind of team too. All the hype and then come out and blow their first game. Which would be against Manna most likely.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And then you never know. Stone likes to come out in the playoffs sometimes and do some crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's true.
He's known for coming in the playoffs after a really bad season, sneaking in and then going to the ship. So
that's true.
We'll see what happens there too.
In each division has a team that this is a team that I don't want to play. And if I was in this division, the last person I want to play is Manna.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see. The last time they played in the league, and they ran through the Big 12 and they lost in the first round. So
lost in the first round.
We'll see what happens there too. But now they're coming in kind of in the middle of the pack, so different expectations, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Well, good luck to all the Big Ten teams out there, and I'm sure looking forward to seeing body count back in your conference in the spring. And so that'll do it for us here, along with my co-host Little Dirty.
Yeah, Little Dirty.
I'm Shane Falco, and this has been the Big Ten Conference Playoff Preview.